Welcome to the And So She Spilled podcast, where things are about to be spilled all over the place. No, I don't mean spill like the tea and gossip, even though I can guarantee that I'm only human and that will more likely than not be spilled too, but that there is a lot being spilled onto us from things that are happening in the world politically, how we are told we are supposed to live in our social lives according to anybody with a mic, irony not missed on me, and just all things commentary, lifestyle, and existence. I am your host, Jasmine, and yes, this is a solo pod, but we are here in this together, just trying to make sense of it all. So, I spill, you spill, we all spill. Let's get into this episode. Yes, episode 4.
Here we are.
Welcome back to another episode number 4. Let's get into it. Of And So She Spilled podcast. It is me, your host, Jasmine, and I am so excited to continue doing this. You may notice, if you're watching this on YouTube, that I'm sporting a different look. You know, it's giving natural. It's giving body. It's giving curls. It's giving the way I came out the motherfucking womb. Oh, and yes, we are definitely cursing in this episode because I was doing PG-13 earlier in my first episode. I don't know why. I was like, oh, shoot. Instead of, I don't know. There was a cute Italian boy who was my videographer. And I'm a little bashful. It was giving Bambi bashful Snow White. So I was like, I go to church every Sunday. I don't curse, which I don't. But we are on episode 4. We're back into it. You're noticing a new look if you're watching on YouTube. I'm giving afro. I don't know who I'm looking because I brought this up. You're looking at this camera and that camera. Hello. Yeah, because that's your best friend right there. That's my best friend. Hey, bestie, go bestie. Get my angles. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, I'm talking to the camera just in case you're confused if you're watching or listening to just the audio version. But yes, I'm giving full afro here. I missed my scalp, okay? I missed my scalp so desperately. The weave warriors, you are strong, okay? That little pat to itch your scalp and the dryness that ensues because you can't oil it because then you'll ruin the style, but then like your scalp gets dry. That is not my battle. That is not my journey. That is not my aspiration. That is just not the things that bring me joy in this life. So I took that thing out. And if you listen to episode number 2, you know the interesting hair journey that I've been going on social media, going viral with almost 1 million views of getting my braids done about a month ago for Beyonce. And y'all were eating me up. And I'm sure people who are listening and watching, because there were so many views and so many comments and so many shares, maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, and me talking about it now means you're probably going to go see it and listen and share your
thoughts, I
guess. I've undergone a few transformations in the past 4 weeks. But that's not why we're here. I wanted to set up the space because we are a podcast and it's audio plus video. Sometimes we have to explain what is happening in the space because they can't see us if they're purely listening. So if I'm giving like preamble to like, oh, you didn't catch that I just shook Cindy's hand, for example, I'm explaining that to paint a picture for the listeners.
Audio listeners.
You know, but you all should listen to the YouTube because I think that it is also fun. But we are going to get into the things. But before I do that, everybody come close. Come close.
I wish you could zoom in right now.
To me. Oh, I'll edit the zoom in. Okay. I'll edit the dramatic zoom in. I have an icon here with me. I have a Renaissance woman.
Lord.
With me. You want to paint? You want art? You want fashion? You want grammar and words? You want anglais? You want francais? Oh, she can do both.
Thank God.
Creole, Miss Paris, Miss Guadeloupe, Miss, honestly, tout le monde, everywhere and in between. I have a sensational individual, someone who I call a best friend and bestie, who I've met last year in Paris, and we'll talk more about that later on. But I have here Cindy. Do you want your last name to be said, or do you want?
I'm fine on my first name.
Okay,
Cindy.
then we have here Cindy. And like I said, if you're not watching the YouTube version of this, which please, of course, listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the platforms, but you at least should stop by on Instagram and or YouTube to see how stunning she is.
How stunning we are.
We are stunning, but I'm taking a moment to highlight the beauty who is in front of me.
I'm going to start blushing.
Y'all, and you'll see, this is no cap. This is no dramatization. If you look at her, then you know that we are in the mere presence of a goddess. And I love that for us. And I love that for me. And I love that for this podcast. So, hello, Cindy.
Hello, podcast.
How are you? I feel like you got to give it to us in French, too.
Bonjour, le podcast. I hope y'all are doing great.
That is not.
No, but
that is not French.
Hello.
That is not French at all.
What do you want me to say in French?
I mean, a little bit more than bonjour. I gotta bonjour to them.
Nous sommes dans un studio à Paris pour enregistrer l'épisode 4 du podcast andsoshespilledpodcast.
Yes.
Gave you the whole print. That sounded like ASMR, didn't it?
It did, and I loved it. It was real sexy.
I hope you got tingles from that.
Oh, I did.
I did something.
I did. You belong here. You belong here.
Whispering.
Yes, little ASMR moment for those who are listening to the podcast. I'm going to stop doing that because, again, this is a children's podcast.
And someone's skin is crawling. They're like, how dare they do that?
I'm kidding. This is not a kid's podcast. Do not have your 4-year-olds. Actually, if they're 4, they don't get it. So they can watch, but don't love your 10-year-olds watch until they hit the precious age of whatever the fuck you decide is appropriate for your kid. Because I am not a parent. I do not have a stake in the parenting war. Do what you got to do. But yes, I here have Cindy with me, and this is episode number 4. I think I've said that, and she has now said it en français. And we are here to just relax, talk, chill. Now that I've done 3 episodes so far, I feel very at ease with what it is that we're doing here, what I'm doing here. It is still a solo pod, but for the next 2 episodes, we're going to have 2 people who are going to join me. So I'm happy about that. Y'all get to see some fun banter and us talking to each other. But before we even get into the topics, I just wanted to say hello, hi, how has your day, week been? Because I have not seen you since our, of course, street rides in Pigalle. And
wasn't that like 2 days ago?
It was many days ago. So, you feel it. You can tell us since I've seen you or this past week, anything that has brought you before I've seen you today until you have met me. You ran here. That was the thing. I ran
here. Under the rain, the second I got here, the sun started to shine as well.
Rude.
I was late, as I tend to be, but it wasn't my fault this time because I got in what I can only call an asshole's car.
Oh.
This man did everything in his power not to get me here in time.
Right.
I've never seen that. It was insane.
Was he or?
Oh, he was.
He was.
Inside of the hand, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. He clearly didn't want me to make it.
Right. They don't tend to want that for us to succeed.
Perhaps. I think he was just unsure of what the fuck was going on in these roads, honestly.
Delusion is bliss.
Honestly. So I had to cancel that Uber. I ran here under the rain. My skirt was lifting up. It was
You were giving folks a show in the streets of Paris? No Fashion Week?
I don't know about a show, but something that could land somebody in jail for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I made it. Here I am.
You did.
I'm
and
no
I love
sick.
that. And you said what?
I said also I'm no longer sick. So.
And I love, oh my God. And I love that. I think that we've now traded places a little bit, or I don't know how my immune system is set up, because last night I was starting to feel a tickle. I did take some Mucinex, which I do think you have. Really? The rest of it, yeah, because I can't find it. Oh, no. And they don't have Mucinex here. So Mucinex is my holy grail. This is not me telling anybody here what to do about what they do with their health. But a little Mucinex pill, pop it in, go to sleep, wake up, brand new person. But we've traded spaces with our sickness a little bit, but I feel a lot better right now. So I don't even know if it was like a quick little moment of sickness or whatever it was, but we're back. But Cindy, that was just today and you running. Anything else on the update? Because I know we went to Pigalle. Yes. And we had that night, which we had many nights in Pigalle. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Pigalle, do you want to do a quick little explanation of what that street is like, what that neighborhood is like, what our nights are like?
Pigalle is an area in the 18th district of the city of Paris. On there, for a landmark, you have the Moulin Rouge. I guess that's the biggest landmark. Not too far from here, you have Montmartre.
Right.
So that's to give you an idea of where it's at. Other than that, the street is essentially a street that's full of bars, sex shops, and other like businesses, night kind of businesses. And we tend to like hanging out there. They have very nice bars.
Respectable bars. And they do. I'm not saying that to be funny. Respectable. But they come with
smart and interesting people.
Yes, smart. I like how you labeled them as that. Because they are.
That's the first thing that came out.
Yes, because they are.
They are. In the way that they have social interactions, I would say they are smart people.
And if you are not, so I 100% agree with that. And I love how she's not fully exposing our time on Pigalle. Because I do also think that you got to be the kind of person who's open to what we call violence of the street. Yeah. And I do not mean violence in the context of like, oh, you're going to get stabbed. No, that's not the violence that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the violence of living life without filter and other people living life without filter and the words and actions that are shared. Now that, we've had a few violent nights. And recently too, we're not going to talk. Are we? Am I going to even mention that we went to what we went to?
No.
We're not going to mention that? Okay.
Another episode.
Y'all got to wait until I come to Paris.
Have to come back.
Right. Precisely. And until that point, there will probably be more things that have happened that we're like, oh, wait until the next episode because, y'all, I'm outside. I'm young. We're having fun. We're living life. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. And sometimes you just gotta live. And Paris is a playground of living.
Indeed.
Especially if you know how to do Paris right, which we'll talk about later on in terms of if you are booking your next flight or your next trip to Paris. From a perspective of somebody who came here for the first time last year and also from someone who lives here, who is from here, Guadeloupe. I will say you're from, but you are a Parisian citizen and know vastly more than I do and can share much more of a well-rounded perspective, I think, on what to do and what not to do in Paris and how the locals look at tourists and whatnot. But we'll get there eventually. We'll transition into what our topics are for the podcast. As a reminder, once this podcast does gain a little bit more traction, when I get folks interacting with me a little bit more on Instagram, we will begin a Spill It segment. And in that Spill It segment, that is where you'll be able to email me different questions, different advice. I'll post a theme for what the submission is about. And we'll be able to talk about it on the podcast. Just me for a lot of the episodes because this is a solo pod, but I am traveling right now. We are in Paris. And so I was like, hey, I want my friends to be on the podcast. Why not? That's fun. It's life. It's what's happening right now. But when you see this, I will be back in dusty ass America.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Not dusty.
Because where's the lie? Where's the lie? You gotta sip your water and give the side eye because it's dusty as hell. But yeah, I'll be recovering from surgery at this point, which thank the Lord, because fibroids are the anti-hero. They are the nemesis to black women. And for my black women who do not go to the OBGYN and do not get tested, this is a little PSA to do so, because I was living my best life, I thought, and then started experiencing some very massive issues in the menstrual cycle arena, to the point where I was 2 steps away from a blood bag, a blood transfusion. Little did I know I had fibroids, and them suckers are getting pulled the fuck out next month, because having a 3-week period
is just ridiculous.
I would not wish it. Is that true? I would wish it on a few people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I can think of like 7 on the top of my head. Genuinely. None of them happen to be women, though.
Honestly, all on men. Sorry. All on male identifying species who got a lot to fucking say and do that disturbs my peace. Would you agree?
Indeed.
For yourself, for your peace?
And they could get them fucking fibroids. They can have them.
Take them. You experience fucking 3 weeks of hemorrhaging, not hemorrhaging, that's dramatic, but 3 weeks of fucking blood clots and wearing diapers. And yes, am I exposing myself? Yeah, I'm wearing a diaper right the fuck now, but can I say this part? Can I say the part about diapers? Yeah. Last year, and we're going to get into the topic, I promise, but last year, because I've had this problem for now 2 years, I introduced Cindy to the world of diapers. And you want to tell us what your thoughts are on the diaper?
Y'all should get some. That's really all I have to say. I don't remember what the brand was the name of, because if I did, I would literally make you write the name. Yeah. Unsponsored, but incredible.
We're waiting for the diaper brand. The diaper collabs.
I swear.
Here, please. For adults, please.
Because honestly, I get it. Like, if you're going outside, I can understand that you might not want to do that. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to bed, you don't have to worry about underwear, spillage. They're soft. They're comfortable. They have elasticated bands. They go crazy. They just go crazy. So now I have them too. My little diapers.
And I love that. Sorry, Ashley just messaged me saying that they're here. Our next guest on the podcast. And this place is kind of hard to find. Yeah. So, yeah. But sorry, I'm back. I let her know where we are. But yeah, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. We're pro diaper. And when you watch this, I will probably in a diaper. Post-surgery. But we are going to get into the first topic because we have a few to cover. And that really is how to make friends in your adulthood. And this is partially a travel version of that, because a very quick, 2-sentence background is that last year I moved to Paris for 3 months for no reason other than to do it. And I did not previously have any Paris experience. I did not have any background in Europe at all. I didn't know anybody. I spoke some French, but, I really kind of bought a one-way ticket and showed up here. Had no expectations about what was going to happen, if I was going to meet people, if I was going to have life-changing experiences, which I did, but it's hindsight 2020. But that's what happened. And then I met Cindy, rudely towards the end of my trip, I would like to say. So Cindy, that's kind of your fault. 1 month left.
How would that?
It's kind of your fault. It's kind of your fault when you think about it. You were here. This is your home. You should be traveling. You should be everywhere. You should be
in
on
the
holidays.
Streets. You should have been roaming those streets.
I was roaming, but you know the streets better than me, and so I feel as though it is your fault because you were not present enough in the 10th. When I was in the 10th, you were not present enough in the 8th. when I was in
sure
the 8th.
As hell would not be.
Yeah, fuck the 8th. I'm sorry. If you live in the 8th or you love the 8th, the Champs-Élysées, like, it's trash. Who was calling me? The way in which this podcast is already going by, interestingly, mind your business. Yeah, there was... I'm sorry, y'all. This is a very... Welcome to life, okay? We are living in the moment. I have a friend who's coming here who's lost in Paris, and that's what's happening. Cindy, do you want to... Here's what I'll do while I'm texting Ashley. If you want to start us off, because I've met Cindy with 1 month left of moving to Paris, what your thoughts are on how to make friends in your adulthood, maybe even talking about when we first met, but I kind of want to be more present and back once I'm done texting to be a part of that conversation. Yeah. So more just kind of like your thoughts on what it is like, one, to make friends in your adulthood, but two, any advice that you have, right, for making friends.
Honestly, I found that the last 3 to 4 years, which is when I suppose I started to be an adult, I either have not made a lot of friends, or the ones that I did make, I had to pursue perhaps kind of aggressively. Or not like pursue, but put myself out there in pretty extreme ways, right? Because when I was younger, I would go to school and make friends. When I was like a kid, I would have sports and make friends there, obviously. But I feel like as I grew, it wasn't really a question of just being in the same place would be enough to create some kind of bond. So, even if I were to pick up a sport now, I would perhaps not find someone there that I would be friendly with, because it's not just about being together and then becoming friends with time. So I guess what I would say is really put yourself out there very aggressively. Mm-hmm. Get out of your comfort zone, get out of your shell.
Yeah.
Be extremely yourself to the point where it's almost too much.
Yeah.
So that it's almost like the people that gravitate towards you don't have a choice but to notice you, in a sense. And I guess that's really kind of not the only way, obviously, but the best way to make sure that you meet people that are like-minded after a certain amount of time living, right? Because it's so hard to meet people after a certain age.
It is very hard.
It really is.
They don't tell you about that.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with what you have said, because I think that for people who go to college, in general, when you go on Instagram and you see people posting their wedding content or they're posting their girls' trips, a lot of the times it is based off of people they met while they were in school, or people who they've known since high school. Yeah. Rarely is it ever, I met this person randomly at a coffee shop. I met this person randomly in my travels to this random town in Brazil, or just, at work, right? There's a lot of group culture that produces who people are friends with. And that's fine. But for those people who do not have that, right, which is definitely where I sit. Hi, hello. Where I do have friends. I don't want to say that I'm a solo dolo, never talking to people person, but I didn't really join organizations while I was in college. I couldn't care.
I couldn't care either.
I could not care. But so I didn't do that. I was part of a debate team, and so a lot of my community, my friends, if debate people are
the loss of breath.
If debate people are watching, some of y'all are my friends. Actually, they're here. My friend who's filming next. I don't like a lot of y'all hoes.
That's on period.
I don't. The elitism, the racism that they think they're beyond. I don't like you all. The predators, the sexual predators, I don't like y'all. I'm never going to pretend to, but there are some people who are cool. But yeah, Jesus. I wasn't part of, they're too smart to do things bad. Because they get it. They read the book. And it's like, you read the book and you still do bad things.
Of course
you are the Antichrist. But I wasn't a large part of like group culture things. And so I find myself now in my later 20s, I'm 26 years old, making friends through experiences. And you really have to, like you said, have a sense of yourself, know who you are, and to authentically be who that person is, regardless of whether or not people are going to enjoy that. Hey, we've got people joining the little space. Love that. But you have to you really do. Be as authentic as possible. And even if it means that people talk about you. But I do have a question, because I think that while yes, that is true, that could run into some issues, if you will. Yeah. Because the American, for example, that comes and is their most authentic self in Paris. Right? Do you think that's successful? And by authentic self, maybe I should like preface, and maybe it is built in stereotype, or maybe it's built in a deeper insecurity of being from America and getting the subliminal messages that we are loud and outrageous and always wanting to be not that kind of American. That to be yourself, does it require any type of adaptation?
Well, I mean,
in a new country, right? Especially if you're not from here.
I mean, I don't think being yourself is really a matter of how loud you are, right? If you are yourself, you should still have some way of gauging the people around you, right?
Right.
Empathy has to be a big part of that regardless.
Right.
So you can still be yourself and not dial it down perhaps, but understand that depending on the place that you're in, perhaps people just live differently, right? So no, I don't think that it would be fair to tell people, regardless of where they're from, if you're loud, just don't be loud, or this kind of stuff. But just like, be mindful. Really just be aggressively yourself, for sure.
Right.
But do be mindful.
So don't be offended if people don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll meet your people, because like there are...
I mean, it depends. If you're really annoying, you're really gonna be annoying. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you're annoying, you're annoying.
Sorry, y'all. If you're really annoying, not annoying, but if you're really annoying...
If you're annoying,
you might not have a place here. I'm kidding, but I also look at me in the eyes.
You're not kidding. Because we're saying people are looking for friends. If you ain't got no friends and you're annoying, there's a reason.
Oh.
And I said that. Oh. I did.
Here, I affirm every... Cut it out. Man, this is content. I gotta keep it. I ain't kidding. No, but I don't disagree with you, because I also think that being annoying is very contextual and very subjective, because like somebody who is not annoying to me could be super annoying to you. Right?
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
You know, we just have like I can tolerate that, or I have the patience to getting to know the person beyond, because I think a lot of it is like anxiety energy, right? When they're trying, like they don't know who you are yet, and so they're giving you their full throttle self, but they've not matched that with my energy yet, or even know whether or not I can participate in that sporadic energy. I have the patience to go, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're about, because this is a lot. I kind of like it. However, it is a lot. And already I'm doing the Rolodex of my friends. Yeah, you're not going to work too well with X, Y, and Z person, because they don't have the patience, nor do they really want to be around that kind of person. Not because anything about you is wrong, just energies don't match. And so I do that kind of in my head. But I'm also a fan of, or I subscribe to the notion that not all of my friends have to be friends with each other.
Of course.
Right? Because they're friends with me.
Yeah, of course.
And different aspects of me. And I have, I would like to believe, diverse and wide range. And so sometimes my friends are going to represent different parts of that diverse and wide range.
Yeah, and everybody doesn't get moved.
So I guess when you come to Paris and this is advice for both when you're at home, yes, to be authentically yourself and to be without restraint, but also when you come to Paris to be the same way, you're trying to find friends in your adulthood, that be yourself. Yeah. And that's going to work and it's not going to work. But as you also said, and I really liked that, to have that awareness to the environments are different. And what is the social norm for how people meet or how people talk? It's just different country to country. But I think it's different and the same. Because I've met some crazy ass people here, right, who match the energy that is in America. Of course. But not every person in America is that sporadic, crazy energy too. Indeed. Everyone is different. But I think just like when you come to a country, the majority or what the environment is saying might be like, okay, well, this is where we're going to be a little more quiet.
Yeah, be mindful.
More couth. Be mindful. But like, can we just say it? I don't think that people know how to read people. I don't think you think that people in 2023 have a good read on their environment and the people who are around them enough to be able to say, here's a space that I'm in, here's who I am. I know that in this space I will thrive, or I know that in this space I'm gonna have to adjust. You think that people are scholars in that category?
I think that people could be. I think it's really more of not a laziness thing, but if you don't make the effort to do it, it's not that you're incapable of doing it. It's just that you pick not to. Because I genuinely think people are capable of it, right?
Of course. People have the capacity.
And you're screaming and no one else is, you should be like, oh shit, I can only hear myself. Then you read the room and you're like, I'm going to calm the fuck down because now I'm being a little loud. That's just an example out of like 1,000, right?
Right.
But I do think people are 100% capable of it.
But I feel like my thing is not capability because like if we think about that in the context of like physics, for example, like potential energy, the capability is always there. The energy always exists, but it's about what happens when it's pushed into action. And so it's like whether or not people will push that potential or that capability into and that's where I'm at.
Oh yeah,
it's
okay,
like right. That's
what you were thinking about. Are they like? Can they?
Okay, yes.
I thought that was your question.
Can I become an astronaut? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Will I sit down and learn astrophysics enough to become an astronaut? Hell no. Like, I'm gonna leave that to the hidden figures, right? Black women who figured that shit out and, you know, built the technologies that we all love and use today, but they don't get their, you know, flowers. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, they have the capacity. I don't think that people are pushed in a direction to activate it. Yeah, because definitely. It's easier to base everything off of what you see on social media, right? Of like, what is a good friend, who is not. Like, I saw something that was like, if you do not have a larger friend group, that speaks more about you than it does about anything else, right? Like, if you don't have a girlfriend, if you're a girl and I hang out with you and you have no other friends, you're the problem. And I'm just ridiculous. Like, it's always somebody in their car talking. It's always somebody in their car who put their camera up and was like, hey, y'all,
and you know,
let's have a psychological chit chat. All right,
ridiculous.
Leilani, Sarah, Christopher, now you want to drop some life stuff on me? How about you focus on driving?
Go pick up your order.
We did not ask. We didn't ask. But then people can't do that analysis, right? They can't look at, here is a random person in their car who had a little camera phone holder that they bought off of Amazon for these particular moments to film content. And I think that's a very important word, right? They're making content. So they're trying to make things that are persuasive and that will do well on the algorithm. They are not therapists.
No, and they don't care.
They do not care about you.
No.
They're just saying things that, like, on a do words make noises level make sense. Yeah. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, you will go 5, 6, 7, 8. But like, what if I was asking you, what is 1 + 1 + 2 + 3 + 4? Now we have to think. Now we have to dissect some things. Now I have to have a credential to understand and talk to you. But these people don't do that. So when they talk about, oh, if you don't have friends or you only have one friend, you're the problem. I want the people who are listening to this, watching this, to just bring things into context. Somebody bought a phone holder, is in their car, or in a random place at their workplace, because typically they have jobs still, because the content is not paying for shit, because oh crap, they don't have credentials to talk about the things that they're talking about. They're just waiting to go viral. That to keep in mind that they bought the things to sell content to you, to make you feel a certain way, and then for you to think how they think. That is not how friendship works. That is not how we're going to believe random people on the internet to diagnose you as a narcissistic, lonely girl who has no way of making friends and is solely the problem. Maybe I'm projecting because, like, that's me.
About that,
you know, but like maybe I'm projecting, like, you know, I am that lonely girl who travels the world and does things, and I think that I'm fine. I don't have this need to be like, oh, I'm the narcissist. I am the problem. But like, when you really think about it, this is a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, somebody who I have no commonality with, randomly coming on the internet and telling me, you're alone, here's why. Like, shut up.
Yeah, no, it's just ridiculous.
Shut up. That is not friendship. And like, if I had listened to that messaging, we would not have met.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
And also, Cindy, how did we meet?
Okay, I do the whole story. It was Halloween night.
Yes.
Last year.
Very
late, perhaps even the morning at this point, 1st of October.
1st of October, November.
Yeah, I did.
You said October.
It was.
No,
1st of November. I apologize.
Yes.
Indeed. So I was drunk on Boulevard de Clichy.
I don't drink alcohol, so
I was shit-faced drunk. In fact,
I was not.
You were sober.
I was practicing the Lord's.
You had your Bible in your pocket.
I did.
You came to exercise me because I had like.
Honestly, I was a moment for me to like convert you.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to bring the Lord.
You have failed.
I know.
Jesus.
Damn.
Regardless,
just in case I was not sober and I was not there for the Lord, just in case anyone was confused about that subtext. Maybe. Okay, anyway, Lord's work is different for everybody. The Lord's work requires a little tooting and booting. Continue.
Oh, no. So yeah, a friend and I were just celebrating Halloween, going bar hopping, whatever. And I think it was almost time to go home, right?
Yeah.
We were at like a restaurant place. I'm not calling that place a
restaurant. The one that we went to.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, Clichy. Yeah. The Clichy taco is where we got to get the food.
Place, the taco place.
Oh, Camas, yes. We went there.
Yeah, that was the place that I think
shitty ass food.
Each other.
Yeah. I thought they were UK girls because they were speaking English. And, you know, when you're by yourself in a country that no one speaks English, well, not no one, but predominantly not. And I'm just like, oh, when you hear English, you're like, oh my gosh, sisters. Yeah, I thought I had a sisters moment. Yeah, y'all, I got bars, but not me singing for the, don't sing. Because if she sings, it's now going to make it look like I got no talent. And studio deal pending. Anyway, no, they were speaking English and they sound like they're from the UK. I got excited. I was like, UK girls in Paris on November 1st. Then they spoke French. And I was like, oh, not a UK girl.
No.
You're interesting. Not you switching in and out. not the code switch. Love that. Yeah. And why y'all code switch. I think the reason why y'all code switch is so funny to me. Do you want to say why?
I don't even know. I don't even really know.
Well, you said that you like hearing French people talk shit when you're speaking English so that they think that you don't know that they're talking shit.
That's a big one.
But then you know that they are because you speak French. So you could be like...
I like to talk shit in English as well.
You do, but I'm just saying, for a French person who talks shit, when they hear you speak English, if you do anything, then you're able to be like, oh, monsieur.
What did you say?
How do you say, shut the fuck up en français?
Shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Ferme ta gueule. Ferme ta gueule.
Ferme?
Like close your mouth.
So say the second part. Ferme ta
gueule.
Gueule.
Yeah.
Ferme ta gueule. Shut the fuck up.
If you say really mad and you got your finger like this, ferme ta gueule.
If y'all like seeing this on the video version, I am pointing aggressively, and I meant that shit. But yeah, we met at Shamas, got some shitty ass fast food.
It was so bad.
But like this year, I got the mozzarella sticks. Fire.
Yeah, this year was pretty.
Could have been tequila, but it was fire. Because I had tequila last year, but it was good.
Yeah.
I was fucking them shits up. We are really cursing up in this shit. Anyway, not a kids podcast. We met, and then we got a glass of wine at the cafe right next to it. The name of it, not relevant, but if you ever go to Place Clichy.
It's Clichy's Tavern, isn't it?
Oh, you're smart. Yeah, that's what it was. I just wasn't paying attention. We saw a crackhead, and I think that crackheads bring people together. That is my statement.
Really did.
Crackheads bring people together, and I want to say thank you to him because
you watched that show.
It was the no shoes for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was dancing in the no rain, but dancing nonetheless.
And he had moves.
He was pirouetting. He was
so good.
He was pirouetting. I was like, sir, teach you a class, inside a room, but don't like. I love that. Mm-hmm. So crackheads bring people together, and he of course was. Again, you have to watch the audio or the video version of this, but he was of a certain genre of racial distinction.
Not general.
He was of the Caucasus Mountains. How do you say mountains en français? Montagne. He was white. Yeah. And so it was a foreign spectacle en français to watch. And we had our white wine.
True.
Cindy was aghast. I have videos of like filming you and being like, what the hell?
And he danced for a while.
With no shoes on, glass shards in the street. Mm-hmm. And that brought us together because fast forward, we've been to Greece together for the summer. We are making plans maybe for a New Year's Eve moment. Mm-hmm. I might come to Cindy's hometown in Guadeloupe. I'm super excited about that. But to just kind of finish up the conversation on friendship, I 100% don't think that I would have been in a place to become Cindy's friend and whatnot if I was so focused on making friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like,
you don't meet people like that.
It's simply just being.
Yeah.
Being, existing, living, loving, and just taking the moments as they are. And that is not guarantee that the people that you have those moments with, that you will become friends. But it does mean that you are meeting them and experiencing moments together, constantly making choices as to whether or not these moments matter enough to keep going together. And Cindy's a little sick. Well, no, you're not. You're just on the residual end of it. It's okay. Cough, cough. That's a song. I don't know. I was trying to beatbox for coughing, but because I can't beatbox. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wait, am I good?
Are you?
Let me blow my nose.
Okay. While she does that, yeah, I think that becoming friends is not an expectation. I think it is a process that you realize and that develops intensity and produces a commitment that you continually day by day have to make. And I don't think that's new for anyone. And I think that even if you're in a long-standing friendship, that's a process that you're always part of. I think that if you're doing it on the back end of your 20s or whatever, you're a bit more intentional about it because you're more of an individual about it because you chose to be with this person in that moment versus you were a built-in friend from childhood or from college or from whatever. But Cindy, because I want to make sure, I don't know how much time we've been doing this for. Yeah. I have no conception, no little clock, no little timer. But I want to make sure that we get to, so we won't do the Paris stuff right now. I think we've done some of that. Unless you want to throw in, I want you to spill. This is your moment of toxicity, your moment of whatever the fuck you want to say to people who are coming to Paris, who come to experience this wonderful town. What do you want people to know when they come here? And this is really where I'm going to set the stage for you. I might nod in agreement for some things. I'm like, yeah, speak, friend.
I have to look like the bad guy now.
I'm not. You will present yourself how you so choose.
I'm speak on behalf of my people.
And for me, my people, we're going to be the fuck quiet because this is a Paris vlog podcast. And we're going to let the Parisian speak. And if you feel a certain way about anything that she says,
don't come.
Remember.
I'm just kidding.
Tourism does affect both negatively and positively. Yeah. But if we bring back why we spill, go back to episode 1 if you've not listened to it. It's about detaching yourself from the truisms, from the ownership of thought, and allowing things to spill in and then process. Have a point, have a goal, find a connection. And Cindy, this is your moment. Say what you want to say.
Honestly, I could have been very toxic on that one, but I really don't think.
Not you choosing light.
No, for real, because I feel like I've evolved on where I stand on that question since the last time we spoke about it. Right? Okay. I am still quite annoyed by not tourists in general, but like some people that genuinely make my skin crawl because as we're talking the loud thing, you know. Also, but listen, self-aware.
Right.
We are also Parisians.
Yeah.
Annoying. Mm-hmm. We like our life the way we like it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, it fucking pisses me off when some tourist is in the middle of the street and does not understand that we need to fucking go places because we are doing things here. Not just looking.
I just want to walk slow and be lost.
Oh, I cannot deal with it.
Be slow and be lost. I'm a tourist. I'm a tourist.
It's really the lost thing. Yeah. The never saying hello thing, too. That's crazy.
Walking into a place and I've been like, bonjour.
That is insane.
Yeah. We don't do that in America.
Really?
You walk into a grocery store, let me get my chips.
That's funny because Americans do say hello a lot of the times. With other places, like other people, like, I don't recognize.
Not in America. Accents. If I'm going into a restaurant, I don't walk in and think that I have to say hello to my server.
Really?
No, maybe that's me, but I don't think in general the practice is come in, make eye contact, bonjour, or hello.
Yeah.
No. Do you think so? Do you think that in America, like we're like the greeting is as important? No, I don't think so.
Because honestly, here you're not getting fucking served.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where it's like I hear a lot of people talk trash on the city and be like, oh, people are so rude. Da, da, da. But you came in and you did not fucking say hello.
Right.
So.
And that is considered rude here, not having that greeting. So it's like we don't perceive that as rude.
No, of course, that's how
but the culture is different. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but other than that, I do have to admit that as a Parisian, I have a very small amount of patience. So not that I get annoyed, but it's just that it's a small amount of people that ruin it for everyone else, right? It's just like some people travel and be super entitled and take a lot of fucking space and refuse to understand that there's different ways of living. And they just ruin it for everyone else because now us Parisians are standoffish and we don't want to talk to tourists because we're like, they're really being fucking annoying and vice versa. So it's just kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah. Interesting. Not interesting. I agree. As someone who is a tourist, not a local, getting more familiar with Paris.
No.
I think that's the read the room thing that anyone can learn to do. But for the sake of time, I want to make sure that we're getting to it, and I want you to highlight the wonderful things that you are working on and that you are doing, and that I am so proud of you for working on and doing. You're even taking a semester off to really work on these projects, which is like no small feat. And I think that we're on that same energy of just like, fuck it, do it.
At this point.
You have a launching business. By the time that this episode is live, it will exist. It'll be on social media. So tell me, what is the name? I know this is contentious because like her and her partner have not agreed on this name quite yet. So what is the name? Maybe this is like projecting it into the world of your business, and what is it?
Okay. As of now, and that is subject to changes.
All right. Let's
the name is 18 Angles.
Yeah.
Right. I won't get into why it is because it might not even be in like 2 months' time, right? But the goal of it is, well, it's in more than one thing. So the long-term goal is to have thrift stores and like second-hand stores and vintage stores around Paris. But the first segment of that is we are opening up a TikTok account where we're trying to take up space in the Black community and make it mix up a bit with the secondhand community because there just isn't really any Black women in that space in France. Not that I know of. I mean, I know there are, but I don't know y'all.
Yeah.
So you know what, like
it's clearly not large enough.
Yeah, it's not
to be like,
enough.
Oh, Black women in this space is oversaturated. Yeah. It's not that. Oops,
so basically, trying to make this happen, be a part of this, and eventually get into having events where we can have people selling pre-loved clothes, etc., having conferences, giving people information about, secondhand and basically being more sustainable in a fashionable way,
Right.
Essentially starting from social media to growing a community and making it about sustainable fashion.
Yeah.
So essentially you can find me for now when that drops on TikTok. And the TikTok account is ran by me and a very close friend of mine, Leah. And on there is going to be mostly thrifting vlogs in short form.
Right.
Where it's like one day I might go, another day she might go, giving people addresses, etc. And the very interesting thing about that is that we have extremely different styles. Like, I wear all black.
Right.
I guess that's really what I can say right now. But we have very different styles. We're very close. We have the same background. Caribbean, living in Paris. French Caribbean, living in Paris. So, yeah, come on over. We're going to have fun.
And say the name one more time.
Say the 18 name. Angles. 18, 1A angles, like a fucking angle.
Yeah.
Like a cone.
I love that. And here's why she's going to be very successful at it and why I am, so proud. One, look at her. Let's take a moment. Hi. You looking? Oh, sorry. If you're just listening, you feel it. Feel it for a second. And if you want to come to YouTube and watch it, do that too. But look at her. Red eyebrows to max the wig and does the all black. I met this girl and was like, here we go. Somebody who is so distinctly themselves and does it and executes it in such a way that is exquisite and just character driven, you have a fashion sense. You have a sense of self that is depicted in the way that you show and express your fashion that I don't think everyone has. Everyone is shopping at the same stores. Everyone is shopping for the same looks, the TikTok shops, the this and that. I know you probably have opinions on that. Yeah. That probably will be where we have to do a second episode. I really wanted to trigger people with the sustainable fashion versus fast fashion conversations. I think that we agree and disagree on certain aspects of it. And so if you want us to talk more about that and you want me to buy a ticket to come back to Paris very, very soon to have a second part of this conversation, don't pull my leg. You're going to force me to come back to Paris to do this? Oh, darn. Don't do it. I'm being forced. Mom, help me. Kidding. But I know that she is going to be successful because not everyone has that vision for fashion and fashion and style in a way that is independent and unique and that will inspire a lot of young Black women in general, the queer community. Because my girl, am I saying that?
Yeah.
Sorry. I know. I don't want to be disclosing stuff without, having conversations that represents the queer community, right? Different expressions, all the wonderful things. And so follow her. Yes. Even if you don't want to follow me, that's fine. You're like, I might, but if I irk your soul, that's fine. We do not have to be best friends. You don't have to love what I do, but maybe you love Cindy. We are not a 2-in-1 special. We can be, but we don't have to be. Subscribe and to follow things that she's doing, because what she's doing and what she's going to put out into the world, I'm going to be on her ass about it. Yeah. It's going to be great. And I think that really is the end of this episode, Cindy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Definitely. We spilled all over the place about friendship and your adulthood and traveling to Paris. The to-dos and not to-dos really is a to-do and to not to-do. Yeah. Very singular, very simple. Be yourself, be adaptive, be aware. Oh my gosh, who would have thought it's that easy? But it's not easy because you have to be able to read people, read spaces. And I know people don't want to think. Oops. Okay. That's all I got to say. Any last words from you, au français? And if you're not a French speaker, oops.
Merci de m'avoir accueilli pour ton épisode 4. That's really it. That was...
Oh, you're going to translate? I'm translating?
Yeah.
Oh, say that one more time.
Merci de m'avoir
thank
accueilli.
You for watching episode number 4.
No, thank you for having me on episode number 4.
Damn it. Thank you for having me. Say it again one more time.
Merci de m'avoir accueilli.
Oh, yes. Thank you for having me on episode 4. You're so welcome, and you're more invited to come again.
I will.
Alrighty, y'all. That was episode number 4. I look forward to you because, Silopod with friends. We'll see you next week for episode number 5 with a familiar face that you all probably know because she is also an icon for different reasons and the same reasons as well. Peace out. Signing out on all 3 cameras.
Goodbye.
Au revoir. Bye. We are done with episode. I don't know how to tell them that we're done with this episode. Messieurs.
Are they in there?
Nous sommes finis.
Excuse-moi?
I think they hear us, right?
Yeah, I think so. I suppose.
Excuse-moi?
I'll go get them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not.
Sorry. We're finished episode.